Staying on the continent, at least 40 people have been killed in twin bomb blasts in the city of Jos in Nigeria. We understand the bombs exploded near a bus station at the Terminus Market. Now, let's take you live to our reporter Adauré Achumba with the latest developments. She's on the line to us from Lagos. Hi there, Adauré. Just talk us through how this tragedy unfolded.
Good morning. Yes, yet another bomb explosion in the northern part of Nigeria, this time in the central city of Jos in Plateau State. Now, this area has in the past had several such occurrences, and it was quiet for a little bit until yesterday. Now, witnesses tell us that about 6:30, they saw a flash and then a loud boom in front of a bus terminal, and then another in front of an eatery, a fast food restaurant in that area. And the incident killed about 40 people, witnesses counting the bodies that were strewn across the area where the explosion happened. We're told that even before officials were able to arrive, that some bodies had been ferried to different hospitals. Injured victims were also taken to various hospitals within the area.
Has anyone claimed responsibility for the blasts at this stage?
There's been no claim of responsibility yet, but we do know that the perpetrators of the explosion were suicide bombers. We haven't been given the identity, but it's suspected that they were female suicide bombers. While combing the vicinity, the people in the area were able to apprehend a 13-year-old girl who had a suicide belt around her. Now, in the past, on Wednesday, there was another incident, similar incident in Kano in the northwestern part. And several weeks back in November, another attack at a market that killed scores of people as well. The same MO, women suicide bombers. But a 13-year-old is the youngest that we've heard the age being projected as and she fortunately was apprehended before she could bring harm to herself or anybody else.
I mean, that is really a very alarming aspect of the story. We know this is the same spot where 118 people died in a similar attack in May. Has security not been upped enough to have prevented these latest twin blasts?
Well, security situation hasn't changed much over the last year. As you recall, the Nigerian president issued a state of emergency in the 3 states in that region that were hardest hit by Boko Haram insurgency. Now, Boko Haram is the Islamist sect that is being blamed for lots of atrocities across the country, killing thousands of people in their 5-year insurgency. Now, this group, you know, carrying out different attacks on churches, schools, government establishments. They are the biggest security challenge in Nigeria at the moment. We are going into an election year in 2 months. Come 2015, it will be election season. Yesterday, the two main parties, picked their candidates for the presidential election, the incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan and former General Muhammadu Buhari, who was also his rival in the 2011 election. So we're going to see another replay of that in 2015. Now, all of that put together, you can understand why everybody is angsty about the security situation in Nigeria, not just with the insurgency, but also people who would like to use the situation to make political gains and perpetrate other kinds of crimes.
Thanks very much for putting us in the picture. Live to us from Lagos, our West Africa correspondent, Adauré Achumba.